G'day, I'm Justin Porter, and today's the 19th of July 2024, and I'm back with the backs, back in black. Yeah, and today I want to talk about good news. There is no life after death. Do you really want to come back as a fruit bat and be fighting over a branch and being weed on your next door neighbour who lives above you, weed on your head? Do you really want that? You really want your next door neighbour weeing all over your head? Look at them. They fight and they carry on. Well, I don't want to come back as a bat. Or come back as a cow and get eaten by a lion, or come back as a mouse and get eaten by a cat. Have you noticed that most people who believe in reincarnation say that they were never a child who died at the age of 3 from a brain tumour? Have you noticed that? So many people say, oh, I used to be a 3-year-old child and I died of a brain tumour. Or I was a 16-year-old teenager who died of asthma. Have you noticed that? These bats here are really quiet. So the good news is there's no life after death. Am I being dogmatic by saying that? Well, some people think when it comes to the matter of life after death, that's a job for religion. That's a job for the religious to work out, not for science. Well, science does have a lot to say about if there is life after death. There was a famous French physician philosopher called René Descartes, and in the 1600s he worked out that all consciousness comes from the brain. Yeah, and he got in trouble with the Catholic Church. The Inquisition wanted to burn him at the stake, but he fled to Holland and the Netherlands, you know. Now, there we go. Now, science says that as you get older, as you get into your 80s, people start to get dementia. They start to get Alzheimer's. That's all caused by plaques building up on the brain and causing the brain to not work like it did when you were 30 or 40 or 20. A lot of scientists say that why teenagers are so silly is because teenagers' brains haven't fully developed. And they say that the human brain develops at around the age of 25. So the human brain develops at around the age of 25, and that's when we start to get sensible. Now, before then, we're just silly teenagers. We take risks, we do dumb things, think silly things, rebel against our parents, think we know everything when we're teenagers. And why is that? Because our brain hasn't fully developed. We don't have an immortal soul that's wise and has lived for centuries. A little toddler, a little 2-year-old child has the brain of a 2-year-old. 2-year-old child chucks a tantrum because mummy doesn't buy it a lolly in the supermarket, so it chucks a tantrum in the supermarket because the child's brain is that of a 2-year-old and is not fully developed. So old people, 80s, 90s, get dementia, get Alzheimer's. That's a sad fact of reality. There's nothing we can do about that, and that is very sad. And my heart goes out to all those people who have elderly parents who are suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia, because that's the brain. If we had an immortal soul, we wouldn't lose our ability to talk, think straight as people with Alzheimer's and dementia do. If we had a mortal soul, we'd be good. Now, if you want to believe in life after death, you can. If it gives you comfort, who am I to rob you of that comfort, the hope that you'll see your dead loved one again? But scientifically speaking, when you die, your brain rots away. You get cremated. If you don't get buried, you get cremated, your brain gets all burned up. You have no brain, no pain, no feelings, no memory, no emotions, no loneliness, nothing. No sense of loss, no sense of thinking ability. It's all gone with the brain, because we get it burned up in the crematorium oven or rots away. Our brain basically becomes maggot buffet. So our brain becomes maggot buffet if we get buried, and our brain gets incinerated if we get cremated. So when our brain gets destroyed, there is no consciousness, there's nothing. So scientifically speaking, there is no life after death. And a lot of scientists like Richard Dawkins, philosophers like Christopher Hitchens, and say that there is no evidence for life after death. And why is this good news? Why is this good news? Basically, it means that you only die once, you only suffer once, and when you die, you go back into what you were before you were born. Now, a Christian said to me about a month ago, he said to me, what good has atheism ever brought to the world? He said that to me. What good has atheism ever brought to the world? Well, I said to him, well, reality. What atheism has brought to the world is that we have to look after Mother Earth. We have to look after the planet. With climate change, we're all on the verge of extinction. If we don't do anything about fossil fuels, there's no God to fix up climate change. A lot of Christians and Jehovah's Witnesses believe that we don't have to worry about climate change because God is going to step in and fix up climate change. God won't let man destroy the earth, because according to the Jehovah's Witnesses, the earth is going to be a paradise and God is going to destroy those who destroy the earth, according to Revelation 11:18 or 18:11, whatever that one is, 18:11 or 11:18. And also Christians, a lot of Christians say, oh no, don't worry, God's going to burn up the earth is going to be destroyed by fire. So we don't have to worry about the earth. All you have to worry about is worshipping Jesus. That's all you've got to worry about. Don't worry about the earth, because the earth's going to be burned up with fire. That's written in Revelation. Well, when I answer that man, that Christian man who said to me, what good has atheism done to the world? The good atheism has done is that we have to do something about climate change, because if those ice caps melt, we're possibly on the verge of extinction. I'm not saying 100% sure we're going to get extinct, but the sea levels are going to rise and there's going to be a lot of death, and it might be irreversible, damage, and we don't want that. We don't want that. So that's the good that climate change is destroying the earth. Fossil fuels. If the Bible was so good, if God was so good and loving, why didn't he say, thou shalt not use fossil fuels? Or thou shalt become extinct. If thou shalt not listen to the voice of Jehovah God, Yahweh God, thou shalt become extinct. So thou shalt not use fossil fuels. You see? So there. If it only said that, how much better would that be? How much better would that be if it says thou shalt not use fossil fuels? Yeah? Now also, as I said, the brain rots away, our consciousness vanishes, just like before we were born. Before we were born, we spent billions upon billions upon billions upon Googleans of years, Googleplex years before we were born. Some people believe maybe the universe never had a beginning and it never was created. We don't know. The universe may have always been here, and so we don't know. People say, who created everything? Well, maybe everything was already here, and you say, well, who created God? And they'll say, oh, nobody created God. God's always existed. Well, maybe the universe has already existed. Maybe the universe has always existed, and atoms have always existed. And when we die, our atoms of our brain will always exist in one form or the other. But it's forever changing, forever mutating into something different. That's evolution, you know. And also, so believing in an afterlife does come at a terrible cost to us all. Muslim suicide bombers. The Muslim suicide bombers believe if they kill infidels, they will get 72 virgins in paradise when they die. The 9/11 hijackers believe that when they die, because they're killing infidels, they'll get 72 virgins in paradise. Christians believe that atheists are going to burn in hell. So if atheists are going to burn in hell, and different Christians of different denominations who they say aren't really Christian, they're going to burn in hell too. So it's okay, God makes them burn in hell. It's okay if we burn them at the stake, like they did in the Middle Ages. They burned people in the stake in the Middle Ages. As an ex-Jehovah's Witness, I get shunned. I get shunned in the supermarket. I get shunned nearly every day of the week. I'm a window cleaner. I'm always walking past Jehovah's Witnesses. They all know I'm an apostate, I think, and they shun me. And that's sad. That's sad. Now, the sad thing is that they're missing out on me. They're missing out on me, and I'm missing out on them. We have such a short little life. We're missing out on each other over a stupid religious belief, over a dumb, wishful thinking. Why can't we just be grateful for this one life that we get? Just be grateful that we've got this life. Why should we be greedy and say, oh, this life isn't good enough? Fair enough. Most people who've ever lived will be poor, will have to work hard, will have very little money, may never be able to go on an overseas holiday, never be able to buy a house. I've never been on an overseas holiday. I'll never be able to buy a house. I'll never be able to buy a brand new car. But I'm still happy I got to live. I'm still happy I got to be alive. You know, I'm happy I'm living. This life I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful I got to live, you know. The bats have to fight over branches. They fight over branches and they die. A couple of years ago, we had a bad drought. They found a number of dead flying foxes, and they worked out the reason the flying foxes had died is they starved to death. These bats starved to death because of lack of food. Humans die. If there's too many people on planet Earth, we die because we're putting so much carbon dioxide in the earth, we're running out of food. That's life. That's life. Do you really want to live forever and experience that? You know, so that's just life in general. There's nothing we can do about it, you know. And that's just the way it is, you know. Life's hard. And be grateful that we get this one life. This is one life we get to enjoy. We get to enjoy this life like the bats. The bats get to fly around. They get to enjoy their life. So we should just get to it and be grateful that we get this one life. And, you know, so we pay a horrible price for believing in an afterlife. We delay enjoying this life. We miss out on this life when we keep on thinking about an afterlife. Enjoy the fact that you got to be born, you got to live, and just be grateful for that, you know. Now here, we'll swing around here. We have an ibis. Oh, don't be scared. Mr. Ibis. That's an ibis. The bat's above my head. No, it's okay. Got the wee on me. That's an ibis, a bin chicken. So be grateful we get this one life. Get out in nature and enjoy it. When you're 76 years old, you've lived for about 4,000 weeks. So 4,000 weeks old when you're about 76. Most people die about the age of 76. So you get 4,000 weeks of life. On your 100th birthday, not many people get to live to 100, but on your 100th birthday, you're 36,525 days old. So on your 100th birthday, you're 36,525 days old, because there's 25 leap years in a century. So, but when you're 76 years old, you've lived for 4,000 weeks. 4,000 weeks. So enjoy life. Get out in nature. Love your loved ones. Stop shunning them. Stop shunning your family. Because when they're dead, It's no use putting I love you on their headstone. It's no use saying I love you on their headstone. Tell your family you love them when you're living. Tell them you love them when you're living. The Romans had a lot of atheists, and on the Roman headstones they wrote, I was not, I was, I am now not, and care not. Go on, bite their toes. Go on. Is he biting their toes? He's nibbling their toes. Ibis Bin Chicken is saying, get off my branch, I'll tickle your toes. Hey, it tickles. He's tickling their toes. Hey, poked him in the butt. Maybe he's an apostate bat. Robin, Boy Wonder didn't show up. Why didn't Robin, Boy Wonder show up? Maybe he's an apostate. Maybe Robin's gone apostate. Jeez. Ibis is saying, this is my branch. It looks like he was pecking their toes, trying to get them off the branch. He is too. See, this is life. Fighting over land, fighting over housing, fighting over food, fighting over water. Too many on the tree branch, too many on the earth. Who wants to live forever? Because this is life. For every living creature on earth, this is life. So the good news is there is no life after death.